Welcome to the Pool Nation podcast, where it's all pool talk. And we ain't talking about netting and jetting or splashing and dashing. We're talking about becoming a nation of pool pros. We talk about the latest products, trends, and training in the pool industry. Now let's welcome your host, with over a decade of industry insider experience and still the reigning champion of Marco Polo, Edgar De Jesus, and his co-host, John J.J. Flawless, the fastest netter in the West, and Zach the Pool Boy Nicholas.
Welcome, everyone, to the Pool Nation Live podcast. I'm your host, Edgar De Jesus, and yes, I am the reigning champion of Marco Polo, along with John at JJ Flawless, the fastest netter in the West, and the famous Zach, the Pool Boy Nicholas. And yes, we are in studio today with the Cannonball King himself, Mr. Spider.
I forgot my camera, but it's one of those mornings. I appreciate the energy drink, Zach. I'm going to need it.
Yeah. I'm like, bro, like your camera is the best
not even a
one.
Sound effect for a cannonball?
He did a little drop.
Oh.
You just gotta miss
I
it.
spoke over it though because I
more
forget.
like a BB drop. That wasn't a cannonball.
It was
It hasn't rained that much here lately.
He may have spilled his coffee back there.
Right.
Hey, today we're talking to Alicia Stevens and Ted Lawrence from BioLab. Today we're going to go behind the scenes with them to talk about something that most people in our industry never get to see, the process of creating new chemicals and products from napkin to in-store shelf. This is a story of innovation in our industry. But before we do that, I want to welcome everyone to our live podcast, the podcast where it's all pool talk. And we ain't talking about netting and jetting or splashing and dashing. We're talking about becoming a nation of pool pros. And yes, we will talk about the latest products, trends, and training in the pool industry. But before we get started, I want to thank our visionary partners for this podcast, the SPPA, Blu-ray Excel, Aquastar Pool Products, Natural Chemistry, BioLab, Raypack, Heritage Pool Supply, Hayward Pool Products, Poolside Tech, Pool Brain, and Kneedeck. We want to thank them for their continued support. Mr. Zacharias, what's going on, brother? 2 weeks in a row. You left, you came back, you left, you came back.
2 weeks in a row. Yeah, it's like clockwork now.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think I'm ready to go cross country, like maybe to Vegas. I've been training for that.
I can't believe you said that. Jeez.
Couple weeks away, right?
Zach and I are going to have to drive this year, and it's like 18 hours. And if you put me in a car...
Why are you driving to Vegas?
Because we have, this year we have a lot of stuff. We got the $10,000 Pool Pro Challenge. We've got the awards. We've got the Pool Nation Conference. We've got the event for the Matrix group on that Friday night. So we had so many things that the cost to ship it all was crazy. So
Road trip.
I like
The cost
this.
of your sanity might be more.
Yeah.
Y'all were just talking about how you hated flying.
Yeah.
This is
I know.
the perfect solution.
Yeah, we were just talking about how you don't want to go in an airplane for 16 hours, but you'll go in a car for 18.
Yeah,
So.
I don't have a choice.
I don't know, though. I'm going to be in charge of the radio because I don't think I can do 80s music for 18 hours
You better
straight.
get the tank song
Oh,
playlist.
Right?
You're going to be listening to Bad Buddy, so at the Super
Okay.
Bowl you can sing all the songs.
That's right. That's funny.
So, no, absolutely. So we got to drive all this stuff. The thing that stinks is the only thing that I can find is those vans from like Budget that have the wall behind the seats, so you can't even recline the seats.
Yeah, that's
and
not
I'm
good.
suffering. Like I looked at RVs, I just looked at and just nothing. So I tried to look for a big Suburban, but nobody wants to do them one way because obviously it takes it out of their inventory, and so
We need a Pool Nation van.
we're gonna have to buy a van.
That's it.
We're
You
gonna have
answered
to-
your own question.
We were going to do a big bus for our education roadshow this year.
Do you have it ready? We can test drive
That's what I'm
it.
saying. Maybe. Yeah.
If it's wrapped already, hey, we'll advertise
Yeah.
it.
I'm
Hey,
just going to have my face on the side. Not sure I want you tooling around Vegas with my face
it's on there.
the
You know all the
thing.
pictures we can take. So,
I don't trust you that much, Edgar.
so how you doing, Alicia?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
Happy to be here.
It's always exciting to have you
Yeah.
back here.
Yeah.
We need to have you back here more often.
Oh, you know me, I love to talk. We were just talking about that. I'm always happy to come hang out with you guys and be on the podcast and say hello and talk about cool, fun things. So happy to be
Awesome.
here today.
Thank you. Mr. Ted Lawrence, welcome back.
Thank you. It's been a minute.
I think you're probably, I'm going to probably say that we could give him an award that's probably the busiest guy in the industry, right? Like, you got so much stuff going on.
Yeah, I'm a little everywhere,
Right.
but yeah, it's all fun. So
Yeah.
it's all in good spirit to help the industry, help us get better. That's
Yeah.
it. So
I would say let's do a drinking game every time we see him pop up, either on LinkedIn or on the PHTA stuff or Pool Nation stuff, but can't really be a drinking game.
Have a big coffee.
We wouldn't be functional.
And it would be-
Yeah.
yeah.
That's funny.
so-
How many cities have you been in this week?
So last week was 4 cities in 5 days. This week is 3 cities in 4 days. And next week will be 3 cities in 3 days.
Man,
Yeah.
your wife must really love you.
Yeah, I have.
I mean, she's got to be like this amazing woman.
You know what? You'll meet her in Vegas. So in order to spend some time with my family, I typically have to bring them on the road with me. So my wife's going.
You're bringing them?
Just my wife's going.
Just your wife?
Yeah.
I'm bringing her to the awards?
Yeah. So yeah, you'll see her. Yeah. 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 She's cool.
Yeah.
I like her a lot.
He outkicked his coverage.
I did. Yeah.
So, anyways, we're excited to have you back on the podcast. Hey, everybody, we are going to do a deep dive today, something that we've wanted to talk about for quite a while. So, we were excited when we started talking about it. It's really interesting from the chemical side. But before we do that, hey, everybody, we have the $10,000 Pool Pro Challenge. It's going up in Las Vegas at the PSP Expo, October 22nd. First place takes $10,000 home, a belt,
Wow.
bragging rights. We're going all in, Ted. All in. It's $10,000.
And I want to see this person wear that belt everywhere.
You know that they're just going to brag about it and carry it. And
Or are they going to have a handler like in boxing?
Oh,
that person
that's a
walks
good
behind them with the
idea.
belt, as they walk into a room.
good idea.
That would be exciting.
You know, too bad that the finals after the awards, because if not, we could have somebody walk behind them with the
That's
belt
right.
the whole time.
and then you got to have your walk-in music. It's
not too
There's got to
late.
be something playing. Yeah.
This thing keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
In my
Yeah.
mind now, it's like Thunderdome.
Yeah. That's it.
So we're really excited about it with our partners out there. Hey, the Pool Nation Awards voting is closed.
Somebody's won. We
It
just
is
don't know who.
done. It is sealed. It is delivered. I will have to tell everybody, have you seen the meme of Joe Rogan when they're doing the UFC fight? And I'm assuming, I don't watch UFC, but somebody is a big upset. And all 3 of them are like, what?
Yeah.
They're all screaming like that. Those were like the last 3 days of the awards, of the voting, because I would log in and it was like, this person's winning. Then they're not. Then they are. Then they're not. Then they are. Then they're not. And it was like, this is the first year. People that lost by 5 votes, 6 votes. It was
Wow.
completely crazy. So this year, what they wanted to do is get 10 votes for every person. So we don't count those, obviously. But if we look at single individual votes, we had 21,000
Wow.
votes for the awards. It went nuts this year. Everybody was promoting it on every channel, on social media,
love
on
it.
LinkedIn. I was like, I'm logging into TikTok, and then all of a sudden, here comes this feed with somebody, vote for me, blah, 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 blah.
I saw a sponsored ad, I think, for somebody.
No.
I'm not joking. I'm going to have to find it. I think someone sponsored an ad.
I love it.
I know.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
So if you get one person with a lot of votes, it's probably
That's
from
the one?
Yeah,
That's
it's probably
awesome.
a boosted post from Facebook.
Good for
That's all.
them.
Yeah.
I mean, there were a lot of good reels, like funny reels that people were making and stuff.
Yeah.
I love seeing all the creativity that people are putting into it.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to see a lot of great people that have won, a lot of shockers too. Those are always in there, but we're excited. The Pool Nation Awards are going to be October 23rd at the PSP Expo. They start at 6 p.m. to about 9:30. Then from there, we go to the Alley Lounge 66 at the Conrad over to celebrate. And then from there, we go to the Pool Nation Conference, which is going to be the 24th and the 25th. And this young lady that's sitting behind me is going to be teaching not only all the water chemistry classes, but she's going to be teaching some leadership stuff too.
I am looking forward to that.
So we're excited.
Yeah.
And I think the class that you're doing for the business side is going to be the one that has the, what was the name of the challenge?
The marshmallow,
the marshmallow challenge.
Yeah, we're going to do the
So,
marshmallow challenge.
Yeah, so that's the class that
Do you know
she's
about
got.
you've done the marshmallow challenge?
have, yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did
Did
it at
you
the
win?
Women's
That's
Summit.
awesome.
Did you win when you did it?
Did I win?
Did your team win?
My team won at the Women's Summit.
They did.
And
That's awesome.
and
The
when
funny thing is, I didn't think yours would win. I thought the one with the girls from Fluidra all the way up at the top, it
Yeah.
looked bigger, but it was just because it was
Yeah.
raised. And then
Yeah.
Zach's all like, not even close.
we
Yeah.
won by like 4 inches.
Yeah.
That's pretty big. Yeah. And funniest part of that is I had just done that leadership drive with Doreen, and I had scored very low on competitive nature.
Really?
That I was not really high on. I'm super, super competitive. And then when we were competing in that darn marshmallow challenge and we won, you would have thought like blew up. Yeah! You know,
I have a video of them. They're all screaming.
Take that competitive nature. Yeah.
Which is true because you are competitive.
I am competitive.
I don't think that you notice it because you're so easygoing and stuff like that. But when it comes to spotlight and you got to take it up a notch, you're like all in.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. So
exciting.
I'm really looking forward to that. That's stretching my wings a little bit for that, and I'm looking forward to it. So
awesome.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Anytime. Yeah, we're doing 3 different tracks. We got the business tracks. Day 1 of business is focused all around profit, the profit approach. We're actually doing an exercise where people are going to be able to figure out their actual true cost of service.
Nice.
Day 2 is really kind of all about leadership, time management, collaboration, which is going to be the one that you guys are doing, and a couple other leadership classes that we're excited about. Then we go into day 2. Well, actually, technical is at the same time, but we're going to be doing obviously water chemistry, algae treatments, and we're going to be doing water startups, acid washes, all that kind of stuff. And then we do have our day 1 of hands-on classes. So we're looking forward to that and connecting with everybody out there.
Real quick, how to register?
I almost said that they were closed. They're not. Poolnation.com. They go to the conference button. Nobody shows up. We're like, what happened? Well, I said it was closed. So go to poolnation.com, go to the conference button. You can register from there. If not, you can go through the PSP Expo. I think once you answer the series of questions, I think the 3rd page you can click and you can register through there for that. But we're definitely excited, and it's going to be the launch of a couple of things that we have coming up.
I saw you have a spot at the show right in the center of the floor. That's really exciting.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to do, the $10,000 Pool Pro Challenge.
Yeah,
so that'll be
nice.
day 1, and then the finals will be on the Friday. So we'll kind of have a series of eliminations, and then the last 3 at about 11:30, 12 o'clock on that Friday will be the last 3. But there's people that are coming that, like Joey's coming up. There's 11 people coming with him because they all want to see him compete. And I think it's going to come down to 3 really good ones. I think there's other people that are probably as good, but the ones that I know, you got Joey Busick, you've got Daniel Bodden, and then you got Benny. I think
Benny's a little sleeper out there.
He's really a sleeper out there. When he did the pump install, I think he took 2 minutes and something. He just flew through it, like really good. So anyway, so we're looking forward to that.
So to all the people he didn't name, consider that challenge accepted.
Take one of them 3 down, and we'll have to celebrate and talk about it.
Challenge accepted,
Right?
right? Yeah.
So you going to join?
Right.
No. So anyways, guys, let's get started. You know, I'm excited to have you guys here. One of the things that we've talked about is that we enjoy a lot of the things that I think we don't get to see all the time. And one of the times we went over to Aquastar, and we saw the process of building parts and doing all that. And I think you appreciate it a lot more when you go through that process for a couple different things. Definitely, for sure, I stopped bitching about the price of things, right? Because it's that machine is $500,000, and this is what it costs for this, and this is what, and you look and there's like 6 machines, and you're like, holy, but then you see the work that has to go in it, and even the plastic, right? And the machines that have to take all the humidity out. Just things that you just don't get to think of. We just show up to the distribution and we're like, hey, let me have that drain cover. And it's like, we really appreciated that. And so one of the things that we've always talked about is obviously the chemical side, because I think it's very easy for us to just assume, hey, I just bought a bucket of tab, so what? It's there. But there's a long process. There's a big cost to be able to do that with staff and scientists and production and all that kind of stuff. So we want to do a little bit of a deep dive to have you guys share with us what that process is. And then, Zach, I think this coming year at some point,
I think so.
we're going to have to do a tour out there.
Well, you should. We should do the podcast out there too. Maybe we can do it.
should.
Yeah, that would be great.
We can make that happen.
Do you gonna wear like cool
You can wear a
white
smock.
side suits?
We
And-
can make that happen.
And by the way, they wear the smocks every single day in the lab, so it's
They're-
not like
they're
that's not for
just
show.
It's, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what we should do is we should get, like, out of the Matrix people, we should get like 10 or 15 people to go.
That'd be sick.
And we could do a little, but that would be fun.
I would love to do that because, like Edward was saying, like there is so much. I mean, you named a handful of things, but there's probably like 20,000 more considerations that go into making the process happen. We're going to get into some of that today, but I've been on a couple tours, and one of them was pool heaters. And it was like I watched this piece of metal go through and transform into a heater, and like you said, you just get to the counter, you open, it's there, it's like, why is this so expensive or whatever, but when you get to appreciate the process, it opens your eyes.
It's especially when you have big companies, right? Like the more you grow, the more costs you're going to have. And so I think a lot of the pool pros appreciate that because they can see that other side, and then you appreciate it. At least I stopped bitching about it. So I'm like, okay, fair point, I'm not going to complain anymore. We're good. So what I want to talk about with you guys guys, it was really your concept from napkin to shelf, right? So let's talk a little bit about that. And when you come up with an idea for a chemical, like how is that first conversation? Where does that even come up?
Yeah, so a few things, and we're going to ham and egg this thing together. So I'm very tied in from process all the way from concept to manufacturing. And really all starts with identifying a problem. That's really where, or a pain point. So what is the problem in the pool business that needs to be solved? And I'll just use a couple maybe hypothetical solution problems. Like number one is when you have water features, what's the biggest problem of a water feature? Is when you turn it off and what do you see? Scale, you see all kinds of problems. So that would be one thing, like we'll identify a problem. How do we make that a better look for the consumer, less work for the service professional to clean that off or even sandblast it sometimes? So that would be one thing. So we start with a problem statement. And problem statements could be something simple. So you either have innovation could be a chemical formulation, but it could also be an application. So it could be a solvent. How can we apply it to the pool? Different, safer, easier. And we get a lot of data points to start. So you never start with, oh, we want to make a chemical that does this, or it doesn't start that we're going to solve a problem. So like when you talk about enzyme, phosphate remover, those things were identified first. Phosphate's food for algae. Like we know that. So how do we remove that? That's a problem. So what do we do to solve that problem? And that starts first. And then you have a team of formulation chemists that are now assigned this problem. So you said, okay, we got a problem with phosphates. Run through what are the best things to remove phosphates from pool. And they'll take that challenge, and these formulation chemists will look outside to adjacent industries, to adjacent whatever. How do they solve a problem? And then they'll come back and they'll start the process. And a lot of these chemical formulations, they don't like each other. So then you have to understand the chemical bonds and all these things. These are very highly technical PhD chemists.
That was going to be one of my questions. Obviously, when you're starting to deal with this and figure this out, we start talking about cost, right? And you're having to hire the right people. And these are very probably sought after people and very intelligent. And
Yes.
It's not like they're in the masses out there. So
Yeah.
We have a running, not joke, but just kind of something quirky at BioLab. Our scientists will pass each other in the hallways and they give each other the nod, doctor. Because they like when you earn that PhD,
Right.
you want to be referred by your title, so they do it to each other. But it's just funny, like doctor.
Zach, when we go down there and we wear the thing and we
Yeah.
pass them and be like, doctor.
Doctor,
We're like,
yeah. And it's like,
Smack
because
you.
I tend to call people like if I'm just being friendly, we're like, oh, Mister, how you doing today? And they'll be like, it's doctor.
Doctor.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
It's like, you know what? Deserved.
So sorry,
Yeah.
so sorry. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead, Ted.
No, that's good.
So I want to ask, because like you were talking about, a lot of like innovative ideas come from providing solutions to problems people are experiencing. Is there ever anything that comes up that's just randomly like, I have an idea, or I imagine as you're going through that process, like another idea stems that creates a different product altogether from that?
Yeah. So sometimes the problem you set out to solve, you've now solved another one that you didn't realize. I'll back up because there's two different ways. I've explained. One was identifying a problem. Another one is we have this little contest in Lawrenceville. We call it Shark Pool. And what Shark Pool is, we assign a chemist and then we get commercial people. So we'll take a salesperson with a person from marketing, from a person from wherever, and then we assign them a task to say, these formulation chemists have developed a product that they think this is how it should go to market or this is how it should be used. And then they basically do a full launch campaign and everything and name a product and whatever else. And then we have a contest. And then the best one typically goes to market.
Well, that's
That's
kind of cool.
awesome.
So
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. It gets buy-in internally on kind of what we're doing, and then we learn a lot. So we have a shark pool thing. We have a problem identification, and then the last thing is feedback from both consumer as well as dealer or servicer, like what we get. So we use the data coming into our call centers that says, hey, we're getting this problem very consistently. Okay, then we feed that through the system and say, last month we received, out of the thousands of phone calls, we're getting hundreds that have this problem, and we're identifying a thing. And that starts a whole nother chain of events that take place, which is fun. Most of the time we have what's called a tech solutions group inside our business, and they'll take a problem that they hear from a consumer, try to replicate it in a lab, and then solve it with sometimes an existing product we already have.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
So you guys come up with an idea, you identify a problem. and you're starting to pursue that and look into it, what's the process of deciding, like, this is something worth pursuing?
Yeah, so once you identify the problem, then you have to understand how big is the problem? What's the size of the prize? What is the market in this problem-solving potential? Is this thousands of dollars? Is this millions? Is this tens of millions of dollars? That could be potential revenue.
Or is it $10?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be careful of that. Yeah.
Yeah, so you look at that, then you prioritize what are you chasing? What are you going to go after? In creating new products is a very lengthy, long, very expensive process. Taking an existing formulation and reformulating that, which we do a lot of, is less costly, but still it's time consuming. You go through this process, you size the prize, and you say, okay, this is worth the work to go chase after. A, because it solves a consumer problem, it solves a problem on the service level, and there's a market for it. So let's now develop. And then there may be multiple ways to solve that problem. You might have multiple formulations that you've created. Some could be a powder, some could be a liquid, some could be whatever. So those go through a lot of testing. It could be stability testing, shelf life testing. Like, how difficult are the raw materials to source? Are we making the raw materials? Is it compatible with other products that we currently make, or is it going to cause a problem in the plant? So you got to start thinking through all of these issues. And then, at some point, once we identify, okay, we're going to go chase the liquid, like this liquid version of it, right? Then it'll go to our other lab. So we have 3 labs in Lawrenceville. One is for product creation, one is for product testing, and then one is for product destruction. So
That's the fun lab.
I was going to say, that's so cool, right?
it is. It's pretty cool. And it's all in
But
our...
that's something that you don't think about,
Never.
right? And this is all part of the cost, right? Because if you create some stuff and then you have to destroy it, but you can't just pour it down the drain, right?
Well,
like you have to...
That's disposal. Destroy is mean disprove what the scientists said it should do.
okay.
We try to break it.
You try to break it.
We try to prove, yeah.
So-
We say, the scientist says it's going to do A, B, and C, and then we actually pay scientists to say, no, it won't. We hope they're wrong. We want it to
Right,
do those things,
right.
but it's their job to say, no, it won't, and try to prove that it won't. We want it to, but we need to make sure it will. So their job is to try and make sure that it will. Basically.
Yeah, you're right, because they're in a vacuum in a lab, like literally a vacuum in a lab, and they've developed this product. And then once it goes down to the other lab, they go, okay, the real world, people are going to overdose in chlorine. There's pollen. There's whatever else. They try to introduce a problem.
Variables.
Yeah.
And variables, that's
Yeah.
right. That would do something with the formulation or not cause it to be so effective.
That is fun.
We actually have a formula that we use to simulate the equivalent of 10 little leaguers in your pool for 10 hours, but your bathroom floor never got wet. Like we do. We have a formula that we mix up in the lab to simulate bather waste because that impacts how a chemical is going to work. So we
right.
mix that in the lab. We buy the components. We make bather waste. We throw it into an actual pool to see, okay, when you get 10 people in the pool, what's it going to do to this particular chemical? And so we simulate that because that's the real world.
Yep.
Any chemical can do something in a pool that doesn't have any variables introduced to it, but then that's not reality. So we need to know what's going to happen when people are using the pool, or it rains, or the wind blows, or the dog jumps in, or whatever. So we have to figure out how to simulate that so that we know what happens when people get in the pool. Sometimes Ted jumps in the pool.
I actually have been in the pool.
For 10
I
hours.
have video
There's
proof.
video,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
But
Hey, his skin didn't fall off. So.
Yeah.
well, it's funny because before I jumped in the pool, I actually went to the lab and I was like, is there anything in that water that is going to, like...
Well, we have 5 big pools out
Yep.
behind our building that we actually do some testing in, and we could talk about what part of the testing that is, but we were shooting a video and Ted he needed to get in the pool, and we're like, out of these 5 pools, are any of them safe?
Yeah.
I would be freaked out. I would be like,
Oh,
me?
we don't, we had to
No,
ask the
yeah.
lab manager, and he's like, pool 5
Yeah,
should
pool
be
5
okay.
should-
When they say it like
Yeah.
that, it's like, no.
He's like, but let me test it real quick.
Yeah. And they had all these like little weird testing devices in the pool
Yeah,
that
we
was
had to-
like,
yeah.
so we had to move. It was nuts.
You know, you were fine. You
was
didn't,
good.
You didn't,
I felt good because that day we had the live human hair samples in the pool. So
Live human hairs?
not live, but you made human
Like
hair
human
samples.
hairs,
Yeah.
right.
So part of the testing too is there going to be reaction to skin or hair or whatever. So that's part of the process is inserting these variables that Alicia was talking about.
when you work at BioLab, job descriptions don't merely mean anything.
They don't say anything.
The intercom will go off. Excuse me, there's human hair testing going on in lab 3. Everyone, please report. when you're testing a product that says softer on hair, skin, and eyes or something like that, our scientists want to know, does this hair feel softer? And so we literally, some of us go and like we buy human hair samples and put them in fish tanks and put the product in, and then you test the different products and say this A feels softer than B, feels softer than C, and you like it's a touch test, and you have to
to go through that process of test them and touch.
And there's different, like the formulations chemist has given you different formulas, variable concentrations of whatever it is we're testing. So they're like, okay, between A, B, and C, which one feels the softest on the hair? So we have to touch the hair and give our opinions.
There is something that's too soft.
Yes, it's slimy.
Really?
It's
I'm not
slimy.
joking.
It's really slimy.
Once you go through this process, you're like, that one's not enough. This one just feels weird. Slimy, but
like B. We want B.
That's so freaking cool.
But it could be smell testing too. Like we put fragrances and things, so it's okay. There's fragrance testing going on, and you have to go sniff 5 different things, and they'll have like coffee beans to clear your palate between them, and you go and you vote on I like B but not C or that sort of stuff. So, and it's just
one of the things that I never thought about, and you were talking about it, is sure you can come up with this formula and stuff like that, but as a company, you guys have to make sure that reacts well with everything else. There's so many variables into a backyard pool that I'm assuming that can take forever to just, you have to go in and you can't just like rush thing and put it out.
Yeah. I mean, 'cause we're going to do a lot of tests internally, and then we have to insert the variables, which we started to talk about some of them, but then it's environmental now. Okay.
Didn't even think about that.
Think about all the different pool surfaces. So fiberglass, vinyl line pools, plaster, glass, tile. Then you got to, okay, then there's the outside. There's grass, there might be stone, there could be pavers, there could be a concrete pour deck, there's stainless steel, there's lights and fittings in and around the pool. So there's all these different materials, and how does that work and react, and is there a problem? That's really where we get into field testing, when we actually do real live pools in people's backyards, where we're sending scientists to different parts of the country, because the Northeast will have
different temperatures, different.
Well, in different pools, different environments, different. We have people that's what I used to do. That used to be my job. Was I did product testing, and you'd get a new product, and my job was to, wherever the market was, whatever we were testing, you take it, you work with either consumers or you're working through one of our dealers or whatever it is we were testing, and you're putting it in real world, real pool situations, and you're gathering samples and data and collection, and you're testing all that stuff. And it's fascinating to do, but you're testing an unknown, fairly well known. To do the whole process before you ever get to that point, we start in beakers, and then we go from beakers to aquariums. And we go from aquariums to what we call mini pools, which are these 4x4 plywood pools that we plumb like a real pool. They've got pumps, they've got filters, they've got liners in them, but they're small because we've got, 20 or 30 of them. So we can test a bunch of stuff. And then from mini pools, we have full-size pools out behind our corporate office. We have a pool park.
And I'm assuming that pool park, you probably just have different finishes on those pools as well, right?
Yeah, there's a couple things that we can do on finishes. We can actually take samples of finishes too and introduce it into the pool, so it doesn't necessarily have to be complete.
That makes sense.
But we have gunite, and
fiberglass, liner,
and liner.
Yeah.
So
and we have hot tubs too. So we test hot tub chemicals and products as well. So we have 5 hot tubs in the back.
Because that's a whole different animal. Because now we're talking teaspoon chemistry, right? Like this can't be.
But as Alicia says, it's a progression.
Yeah, so we go from
internally
tiny all the way up to pool, and then once we've tested them in our full-size pools and we're confident in what they do, that's when we take them out into the real world. So then we send our scientists out to actual in-use pools to do what we would consider the final stage of testing.
So how does that work? Do you go to your employees that have pools? Do you go to partners? How do you pick those real-world?
Sometimes we do use our employees. They get a kick out of that. We'll test something new.
Of course.
Sometimes we do what we call in-home use tests, where we'll partner with a company that recruits for us, and they'll find consumers who sign a whole bunch of paperwork, and then we provide chemicals, and a lot of times we control the pool for them for a while so we can use it to get the data. Other times, in our BioGuard dealer base, we use our dealers and say, hey, we've got a new product. They love to partner with us for that. Can we use some of might be part of their service pools, might just be some of their customers. Can we use some of their pools? We give chemicals, they give pool space.
That's got to be exciting
we
for
get
them to be part of
to
that
test there,
process. Yeah.
I did a summer, we were testing a new shock product, first summer in this particular job. And first pool I walked out to, testing a new shock. I was so first day on the job, I threw that shock in the pool and I watched the bottom of the pool turn black.
Oh, no.
Oops.
Been there.
And I was like, metals, you know, like
Yeah.
when you don't know there's metals in the pool
Yeah.
and you throw a high pH shock in, that happens. And thank goodness it was David Rouse was
Yeah.
my boss at the time, was standing next to me because it was my first day on the job, right? And I was like, oh. If he hadn't been next to me, I'd have quit. I'd have phoned in my resignation because I'm like, I just destroyed this pool. Like I
did something wrong.
Yeah, it was metals, whatever. We fixed it. But it was the most horrifying experience. It was like, oh yeah, high pH shock. That's what happens. That sort of stuff. And we do that sometimes at spas, sometimes it's pools, sometimes we're looking for vinyl or fiberglass or concrete. But we reach out into the real world to get that kind of that final level of testing.
The other thing is shelf life. That's something like I
don't
think we
think
take
of,
for
yeah.
granted because we're not worried about use this product by October 15th, you know, when we buy it. And we don't really have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Is it typically like this stuff lasts a long time, or do you have to put a lot of work into like tailoring it for the longest shelf life?
Yeah, so it all depends on the product, but you talk about issues that can happen when something sits on a shelf. A lot of it comes back to powder. Think of like sodium bisulfate, right? So pH reducer, you put an anti-cake in there. So when you see that things are like 99% pure, yeah, it's 99% pure, but you have to do something to make it so it doesn't cake up.
Yeah.
Otherwise it'll become a brick, whatever. But so does bicarb has that too. So a lot of powder product doesn't necessarily have a shelf life on efficacy, but it doesn't apply correctly to the pool. So that's one piece. And when you talk about trichlor or dichlorochlorine products, there is a shelf life, and there's half-lives to that. When you talk about sodium hypochlorite, specifically 12.5% as an example, we'll bottle that at 14, knowing by the time it gets to shelf, it's somewhere around 13.
Maybe, yeah.
A lot of times
you're
it's
lucky,
higher
yeah.
because you want it to get to market, but that's a product that's hand to mouth. That's not a stocked product.
I was going to say, you can't stock that. It's
That
like
comes
you have to produce out.
That comes from the plants onto a truck to a distributor or to a store.
Yeah, no stopping points.
There's no
Yeah.
stopping points. Yeah. That's a very short life product that's hard to manage and maintain. And then you talk about items like trichlor, for example. Trichlor is a little longer shelf life because it's more stable. The chlorine's encapsulated. After a year or two, it will lose part of its efficacy. So
Now, when you say encapsulated, how does that work that you guys are able to block that chlorine in there?
yeah, there's a few things. We talk about technology, right? And we're an innovation house. When you look at the BioLab products that are for sale in the marketplace, there is not an equal equivalent in the market. And I'm really talking about shocks or sanitizers, those sorts of things, as an example. And I'll get to your answer. It's a long-winded one.
No, perfect.
So there's two things you can be in our space. You can be a manufacturer. We actually manufacture the raw goods and materials. That's what we do. So we manufacture trichlor. We burn our own liquid chlorine in our plants. So we're not buying it and bottling it. We're manufacturing. We're actually blowing our own bottles. We have a blow mold shop in our plants that blow mold the bottles. So it's going from the blow molder, and when you see these plants, it goes up ahead, it comes down to the line, it gets filled, boxed, packed, and put onto a truck. It's literally...
We have really cool tours.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm really like a little kid here going, I want to see this.
So that's a real end-to-end solution. Now, you can be what I call a repacker. You can just buy formulated chemistry in the open market, bring it in what they call totes, put it on the line, and just fill bottles all day. There's more that happens in our industry than what I'm just talking about, innovation, labs, things like that. I bring this up because when we talk about encapsulation, for example, there's two ways to make a trichlor tablet. You can do the 99%, which is you're taking granulated trichlor, putting it into a machine, pressing out a tab, putting it in a bucket. That's as pure as you can get. There's also what we call formulated tabs, which means we can add products into the tablet that actually does several things. One is it does lock the chlorine in, so it makes it a better shelf life. But depending on the application on these formulated tabs, we can actually make them so that they'll help staining on a pool. They'll help reduce the calcium on the water line. Some even have a clarifier that's actually built in. Some actually have water softeners, all these things built into the tablet. So that we call a multi-purpose tab.
So I'm assuming that's not what we get at the pool store, right? This is probably not the bulk stuff.
It
but-
depends. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say probably most of the people listening are service professionals out there who typically go to a distributor,
Right.
purchase a 50-pound bucket. They're buying 99% tabs.
Nothing else in there.
There's
Yeah.
nothing. It is trichlor stamped, put into a bucket, and then you, the service professional, have to add other things while you're doing the pool maintenance. Whereas a lot of these blended tabs or formulated tabs, these are heavy consumer products because the consumer just doesn't want a problem. And I'm going to give you a parallel industry. So 100 years ago, how did you clean this table? What product did you put on here to clean it?
Probably just bleach.
Bit chime.
Maybe bleach, likely vinegar, or ammonia. Do you guys have ammonia or vinegar in your house at all? Well, vinegar, you
Vinegar,
eat,
yes, but ammonia, no.
So what happened in the past 100 years is industries have realized that consumers want a product that does a lot of things at once. We want to clean it, we want to sanitize it, we want to seal it, we want to protect it, we want to make sure it looks shiny when I put the product on. We take that same philosophy in our tablets. The consumer just doesn't want chlorine in the water. They want it to feel better. They don't want the water line, all that sort of thing built in. And they also want some protection because consumers aren't the best at water testing and maintaining.
I need it to be easy. Yep.
So a lot of our formulated tablet product goes to consumer. And that's why on the buckets, we're able to make claims that says softens water because it actually softens. We have water softening products in the tablet or fights algae fighting crystals.
Corrosion inhibitor, stain and scale prevention, because we have all those technologies stamped in the tablet. And we're the only company who has, I don't know how many different formulations of tablets we have, but it's a lot. A few.
Yeah. And we sell them for different markets, to
Okay.
different brands, and to different
Different
things.
formulations, different numbers of bells and whistles.
That's right.
So
And it would make sense because you guys would be able to see what's more prevalent in one area, right, versus another area.
And we have a de-escalation process, which is our highest performing products ever that come out of our plants go to our BioGuard brand.
Which
100% of the
which
time.
I love. I love that with you guys and your BioGuard stuff. Which,
Yeah.
by the way, I need to talk to you guys
Yeah.
because I did talk to Rick. Kelly and Bobby from Dedicated Pools out in Yuma were in talks with you guys to become a BioGuard dealer, and they were finalizing it last time I
Awesome.
told them. And what I told them is, oh my God, we got to get Ted and Alicia and you guys in the podcast studio when you guys do that.
Yeah, that sounds
But
great.
big shout out to Kelly and Bobby out there. I
Yeah.
love them absolutely. They'll be up at the awards. So.
Yeah, welcome to the
Okay.
family.
Yeah, welcome to the family for sure.
But
We'll
I
follow
do
up on
love that you guys do that and just have that brand for.
Yeah, so we put all the newest technology into that brand, and then as we come out with new technology, we will downgrade that technology into another brand, and then at some point the IP runs out, and then it's available to the market.
So talk about that for just a second for the people that don't know. So how that IP process works and then when it becomes open.
Yeah, so it's
First
really
of all, explain what IP is because
Yeah.
not everyone probably knows.
Yeah.
that.
Oh, we're not talking about beers?
IPA.
So IP is a intellectual property, so
Okay.
that covers trademarks, that covers formulation, that covers all of this stuff. Back before it, so it used to be a long time ago. It used to be the first to create gets IP assignments. It's the first to file now.
Oh,
So it's a
okay.
little different. So we keep these things so under lock and key because if it leaks out, somebody could file it
Yeah.
and we lose it. So as an example,
Without even having anything.
it doesn't matter.
For
And
example, when we
which-
give you a tour of our labs, we sweep through first.
There's a heavy vetting process.
And we
yeah,
look
that
at
goes through,
everything
yeah.
that might
Yeah.
be exposed out on the benches, anything that might be something we wouldn't want anyone to see. And
To
we
see.
make sure it's all tucked away so that we don't leak something out that we
Which
don't want to
kind
see.
of
'Cause we
stinks a
don't
little
trust you,
bit,
Edgar.
right?
We don't trust you,
I know
Edgar.
you don't trust me. I like to spill a lot of the tea, so it's like, let's
You're
Edgar-
turning your phone in.
Yeah, let's Edgar proof this place. But it stinks though because if you're truly the first one to create it, right? To me, and that's my personal opinion. It's like you're putting the money in, you're doing it, you're
Yep.
doing all that versus just having somebody go back over here filing stuff and filing.
Yeah,
and-
they have to. I'm making it sound pretty pedestrian, but you have to have some backup to what you're doing. So-
Yeah, right.
Because part of the process is like we just explained this long process, which is multi-year process.
Yeah.
All of this that takes because we have to feel good about it going to a consumer testing. Like all of the filing has to be done. We have to prove to the different chemical agencies if it's regulated or not that it's safe for human consumption or for
Use,
For
yeah.
use, yeah.
So there's a third-party validation to this as well. So once we do all of our homework and do our internal due diligence, it goes to a third party to vet. Did we cross the T's and the I, dot the I's, everything good?
Whether that's the EPA, if it's a registered product, or some other testing.
Consumer Product Safety Commission to get their approval and their buy-in to make sure that, hey, this is good for environment, people, dogs, planet, all of that stuff before it goes out. So all of that information is wrapped up into an IP piece and then submitted to say, here's all the testing, here's all the stuff. And then there's the Chemistry Council that we actually file all this in so that they know that there's this new thing that's out there. And then some companies, we can choose to manufacture this and put it into a CPG product, one of our brands, or sometimes we sell it. It could be sold to a different industry. Or we could sell it to somebody else, who will take it to market in something else.
Sometimes we create things and we're not quite ready for them, so we stick them on the shelf for a little while and come back to them later, too.
We showed one last year we have a dealer council, so made up of our BioGuard dealers, and they're all NDA'd, and we show them the almost finished product, like when we're ready to launch. We showed a group last year a product and decided at the last moment not to go forward to manufacture. And they were so angry that it didn't happen.
We were not happy.
Because they were all excited. And we were like, guys, we're launching it this fall. So it's coming.
Oh, gotcha. You just got to help back.
Sometimes the timing isn't right and it waits, but it's a 5, 6, 8-year process. So our people are thinking 5, 6, 10 years out.
That's crazy.
That is
What
really
we launch
crazy.
5 years from now is in our labs right now.
It's in right now.
It's in
We're
our
doing it.
labs right now
That's right.
being worked on. Yeah.
So let me ask you specifically about phosphate removers, because I'm going to go back.
Awesome.
I'm going to go back to my days when I was doing pools, and I'll confess I was one of those that was like, phosphates never existed, so why should we have to take care of them now, right? I was one of the boo guys
I
that
used to
didn't
be
believe,
one of those
right?
people.
But now, taking a look at it, now that I'm a little bit wiser, I look at it and I sit there and I think, who thought about that? Who figured that out? And so for you guys that have a phosphate remover, looking back at that, because now it's a big thing, right? It's a huge thing. What was it like specifically for that phosphate remover? And then more importantly, you have to deal with people like me that are going, well, you don't need that. You don't need that. And there's an education piece to it.
You're not a doctor.
Doctor. Let me comment on that because it's funny because I've been with BioLab for 25 years, right? And we were the company before that said, we don't care about phosphates. Like we did, like I'll own that. Like we don't care about phosphates, whatever.
Because our chemistry already solved that.
Our chemistry solved the problem without addressing the problem.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
So we're like, yeah, okay, phosphates are there, but who cares? Our 3-step program, our sanitizer, oxidizer, aldehyde, just ignore the phosphates. Our chemistry overcomes anything they might contribute to the problem, so we don't care about phosphates. And we were able to show if you just do these things, phosphates don't matter. Technically, still, you can maintain a pool with phosphates in it if you want to work hard enough at it. You absolutely can do that. So we were just willing to just keep plowing forward with, don't care, we're fine. So we got beat up pretty hard by our dealers, quite honestly, our BioGuard dealers, because they wanted a phosphate remover. They were seeing good results from them. They kept telling us it's easier if you remove phosphates. It's easier. Yes, we can do it without, but it's easier. It's easier. It's easier. And we were losing the battle of the shelf, basically. We weren't giving them a phosphate remover, so they were like, fine, we'll get it somewhere else.
Yeah, the market is telling you what it wants.
And we weren't listening.
We were ignoring it.
We were ignoring it. So we came out with a product that we were repacking, quite honestly. We weren't formulating that. We were repacking that had a phosphate remover element to it. We didn't go all in on it, but it was like, okay, it does this and this, and it removes phosphates, fine. And then when we acquired Natural Chemistry, they're great at phosphate remover. They have fantastic phosphate remover products. And we're like, okay, here we are, And so we started, I personally, but we as a company started listening a little more. And then we started to do a little research and we're like, okay, what is the reality here? How much easier is it really if we remove the phosphates? And it was a lot easier. Like it was eye-openingly different. If you took the time to remove the phosphate, you could make a huge impact on keeping algae from really being able to bloom and grow, and how much better our 3-step program worked and how much easier it was to maintain chlorine levels and all this sort of stuff. So it was a matter of we weren't wrong in saying you can do it without removing phosphates, but holy cow, if we just
makes it
take them
easy.
out, it makes
Yeah.
it so much easier to do. We did, and I'll tell people like, yeah, we shifted our stance because, and I'll show a slide when, well, you've seen it.
I've
Have you
seen
seen
the slide, yeah.
where it's like
The algae slide?
the algae slide,
Yeah.
like algae growth with phosphates, yuck. Algae growth but no phosphates, oh holy cow, that's a lot different. And that it was that one slide, and I'll tell people this is the slide that changed my mind, and I'm stubborn, but this is the slide that changed my mind. And so now we're at the point where yes, and we still battle some of our people that have been with us a long time. They're like, you said you didn't need to remove phosphates, and I'm like, I know that's what we
don't
said,
need to, but it's easier.
but we've evolved and we've learned more, and
Yeah.
we've researched and we've grown, and look, it's so much easier. It is so much easier. So now I'm a big, like, I'm the first person to tell you, take the phosphates out. You will not regret it. It'll be so much easier. Everything else is going to work better. It's going to be easier. It's going to be faster. It's going to be more efficient. You're going to use less of other things. You're going to have less problems. So for someone like you, yeah, you're right. You can do it without if you want to.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't recommend it. 'Cause
Yeah.
You're
Well,
going to
yeah,
struggle.
you could start a fire with 2 sticks, or you could,
Or you
I mean,
can
how
light
many
a match.
examples
Yeah,
in life
exactly.
is there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of our products are multi-performance, so
Mm-hmm.
they'll have a phosphate remover component to it for maintenance, and then we'll have a one-shot to for quick removal.
Yeah.
But this is a product that natural chemistry invented the category of enzyme and phosphate remover.
So good at it.
And that started from the original founder of natural chemistry, who was a chemist, they said there's a different way to take care of a pool. I don't care what the industry is doing. There's a different way to take care of a pool. And his true belief was if you remove the phosphate and add chlorine, that was the best way to manage a pool, and use an enzyme product that gets rid of the oils and all that stuff and makeup. And that's the way he invented to take care of the pool. And out of that, it revolutionized the way everybody thought. And then I think the telling one was our research on just removing phosphate with algae present. And you can visibly see the difference. It actually works. But a phosphate remover without the added components causes problems. Cloudy water, all these sorts of things. So there are buffers, there are other things that you add into the product to make it perform better. Because the last thing you want to do is take a consumer's pool who's absolutely clear and perfect. They have high phosphates. There is a bit of a problem. You add a phosphate remover and it clouds before their eyes.
Right.
Then they're mad.
Then they're angry.
Yeah.
So that's also part of the testing. And here's a funny story. I just came out of a focus group of a bunch of service professionals, and they actually want the opposite. They think they want to see it working, and they want to see its cloud.
Because then you can tell it's working.
That's right. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a really interesting perspective. Like, we try to just make sure the pool does not cloud, but there's a segment of people who want to see the water cloud because they feel like it's working.
Yeah. And I think with phosphate removers, you add them, and for the most part, you get some cloudy, at
Yeah.
least back then. To the pool pro, right? It's like, oh, it's working. See, it's reacting with the water. It's
Yeah, that's
working.
right.
That makes sense.
Speaking of innovation, though, we're launching a new product in natural chemistry this year that's an algicide with a phosphate remover in it.
That's right.
An algicide with the phosphate remover.
Yeah, they're combined together. So when you're adding your algicide, you're actually taking phosphate out at the same time.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, I'm going to put my little business hat on, right? Because I'm always about, let's talk about the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll take a break here in a second. I'm just a little too into this thing here today, if you could tell, right? We've probably been talking for like an hour, but I'm going to put my business hat on, right? And as a business, every business is in business to do business. At what point, or how do you guys figure out there is a market for this product? And can you guys calculate, hey, this is going to be a $1 million market, or it's going to be 10, or it's going to be something that, crosses everything, right? So
Yeah.
at what point from the business standpoint do you guys go, I'm assuming it has to be earlier in the process, right? Because the last thing that you
Yeah.
want is a tablet, and the tablet costs $3,600, right? Like
Yeah.
some stuff just doesn't make sense.
The discussions are done early, sizing the size of the market. So we understand there's roughly 11.5 million pools that are in or above the ground out there. So that's our serviceable market.
Okay.
And if we just do rough math, half of those pools are maintained by a service professional. The other half is a DIY, do-it-yourself consumer. That's where you start. Is this a consumer product? Okay. Then we're starting with 5.5 or 6 million pools. That's our serviceable market area. And then you start running the revenue models. Is this a primary product to the pool? Is this a shock? Is this a sanitizing product that you need for the pool? Or is this a nice-to-have product like enzyme phosphate remover that is roughly 10% penetration, right? So now you've taken the 5.5 million pools, you've cut that down by 10% to 10%, and now you're talking about your serviceable market is 500,000 pools times what's the cost that we think it's going to manufacture, you back into the number. So that's where we start. That is the math. And then we say, okay, we only have so much time, money, and effort to put to a project. Where does this rank in priority of, certainly profitability is one piece.
Right.
Can we really take care of this problem that we've identified? How big is that problem? And can we solve it relatively quickly? And then the third piece is time. Is this a 10-year project? Is this a 1-year project? And that depends on if a regulatory agency is involved or not. As an example, phosphate remover enzymes, there's not a lot of regulation there. We don't have to prove to the EPA and whatever else and register. Because when you look at a registered product's label, that's a government mandated label. It can only say certain things.
You can't even move a comma.
Yeah. So it goes through
Yeah.
it goes through a whole registration process that we can get into after break. So if it's a non-registered product, your speed to market is cut into about a quarter. So you can go to market probably in 2 years versus 5 or 6. So then we identify that and say, okay, if we can go to market in 2 years, our size of the market is this big. We figure with our market share, we have a penetration rate of X. Okay, it's worth it. Let's go do it.
Okay.
And I'm sure that's like a evolving thing as you're going through the process, and you run into something that unexpected that now that's going to drive the cost up, and then do you have to scrap at that point?
So
You do at some point have to evaluate, this product is going to cost X to a consumer.
Yes.
Are they going to pay that?
Are they
or
going
not?
to pay?
And there's going to be a point at some that it may be no. It's like, no, in order to do this, it's going to cost X number of dollars. No one's going to pay that. And then you either have to back up and make a change, or it's just not going to be
Or
worth it.
reformulate.
Or reformulate to a less expensive version.
Which kind of back to the drawing board, right?
Yeah,
Exactly,
so what Alicia just described is a process called stage gate. So once it gets to final launch, like you have it complete, all the testing has been done. The packaging and the marketing is completed. It goes now into a process of review between all of the stakeholders in the company. So there's marketing, there's manufacturing, there's sales, there's the executive leadership team, there's the technical solutions. They all get a vote what gets launched.
Huh.
It is a really cool meeting, and it's long.
I was just going to say I would love to be a part of
Right.
trying to
Sometimes
bring that.
contentious, I think.
It can be very spirited at times.
And
for
you
sure.
kind of want
So,
it to be, right? Because
Yeah.
if you're really going to be sure, you want...
To Alicia's point earlier, ignoring phosphates, that's because everybody was aligned. This is what we weren't going to do. You don't want to go into this meeting with equal minds. You want
Right.
different
Yeah.
opinions. So, and we pulse everybody. So in that meeting, you're giving status updates of projects. So where is it in the stages? Because when it gets to the final stage, it's like, hey, we got 4 products to launch, potentially. We're ready. Everyone's checked the box. Okay, well, maybe we only have manufacturing line time to launch 1 or 2. Or maybe the size of the prize and the other 3 after we got consumer insights and other information, it's not as big as we thought it was. Are we still going to do it? And in that meeting, there's a lot that goes through. And sometimes things get changed. Sometimes some packaging gets tweaked. And everybody's got to agree. We hold hands and go, we're launching.
Yeah.
And the whole organization is aligned. It can't be sales wants it, but manufacturing doesn't like to make it. Like maybe it's a difficult product to manufacture. So we all got to lock arms and say, we're doing this together.
It's crazy to think about, like, when you're talking about one product from napkin to shelf, and like how many people are involved from
Dozens.
getting it there to there.
Dozens of people.
Oh my God. The other really fun part, I know we have to break soon.
No, you just keep going. Don't worry about it. We'll do one at the end.
So like we talked about formulation. So in tandem while this is all going on, you have a set of packaging engineers who are now going, this formulation has got to go into a package, and not all bottles are created equal.
Not all plastic is created equal.
Not all plastics are created equal. Will this formulation react negatively in this container? Will the container soften, warp, break, whatever it may be? So there's packaging engineers who now go through testing to ensure that the packaging is good. And there's all kinds of testing that happens with UN testing, drop testing. We have a jungle room in the office where it goes to accelerated aging process.
It's really hot. Really,
Yeah.
It
really
sounds hot.
Yeah.
So you got to go through all that, which is a lot of fun. So it's like, oh, do we want one that handle? Is the size going to be 32 ounce? Is it going to be a liter? Or is it going to be a pint? Or is it half gallon? What? And that will all depend. And that
Is it a vented cap? Is it a not vented cap? Is it a white cap, a blue cap, a yellow cap?
Are we using post-consumer recycled material in the product?
How thick is the corrugate when we put it in a cardboard box?
Does
Are
it
we
need-
decorating it? I'm telling you.
Does it need to be child-resistant cap? So all of that is done in packaging engineering.
That's wild.
And we're not even talking, at some point, you have to get out, and obviously sales has to go out and sell the product before you even launch it. Because
That's
you can
right.
have the product, and if nobody's going to buy it. So how does that process work a little bit? How do you guys go out to the market and kind of go, hey, here's our brand new product, buy it?
Yeah, that's always difficult because we're making a lot of bets. We're making a lot of bets in the building that the dealer or the consumer or the servicer is going to accept it. So then once we have everything that's ready to made, we have a launch campaign that's assigned to it. It's like, how are we going to do it? So a lot of times it's a guerrilla marketing. We have an amazing group of district sales managers, DDMs, DSMs that are salespeople that work closely with the service pros as well as the retail stores. And they will actually go out, maybe they'll give free product. Maybe they'll go to the poolside with them and show them how it works or what it does. Why is it different than the legacy old product? And why should you choose or change? So a lot of that's done that way. It's guerrilla marketing. It's going to some of our distributor partners and doing the branch events and the tabletops and sitting outside the branch and maybe cooking up some hot dogs and whatever else and having these little lunch and learns with thousands of pool professionals. So it is truly hands-on. It never can we be like, oh, I'm going to put an ad in the industry magazine.
We
it's
do
gonna
that,
work.
but
And
that's
we-
not all we do. Yeah.
Or we'll put it up on our website. Oh, we're going to put it in the catalog this year and it's going to sell itself. Never, ever does that do it. So there's a lot of guerrilla marketing. It's easier to replace a product than it is to make one new.
Well, and like you're talking pool guys and gals, a consumer can look at the ad and be like, great, benefits, we're a tough crowd. So
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
And a lot of us live in our own little jungle. You don't go outside your box, you just do.
We do this thing on the natural chemistry side of the business. We do this good, better, best for pool pros. Like the good is what you probably know. It's 99% trichlorotabs. It's the polyquat algicide. Like it's what they go into
The enzyme product with nothing else added to it, that sort of
Like,
stuff.
that's
Pool
the good.
magic, yeah.
Now the better, maybe we add a borate product, maybe there's a blended enzyme or whatever else, but we put these little sheets together to say, and when you cost it all out, they're roughly, it's the same.
Pretty close, yeah.
But you'll get added benefits with the other two, the better and the best. So there just needs to be a lot of education out there in the industry. It's not just the strongest, cheapest thing is the best. It's not. There's all of these multi-purpose products that are designed for a reason to help you.
And I think, like you said, the education process, because it's like if you're a la carte in a sense, it's like how many things do you have to handle, deal with, carry, transport, purchase, how many SKUs?
That's
but
right.
like if you had one product that's blended and
Does all this.
ideal, at the end of the day, it'd be cool to walk in the backyard and be like, whoop,
Yeah.
and out, and we accomplish all the things. But if you could minimize a lot of that and get those maybe synergies out of them and things like
Yeah,
that.
we have this one product called Algae Max that's a dual formulation algicide. It's a copper and a polyquat blended together. So it doesn't matter what you're going to use it for. You have one product.
Yeah.
Our Pool Perfect Max enzyme phosphate remover clarifier all in the same bottle.
All in the same
So you
one.
don't have to carry 3 different products. It's all in there. And it's a weekly maintenance product. So
Yes.
you carry that. That's three bottles. Instead of 3 bottles, you're
Right.
carrying 1.
So we put a lot of thought into service professionals. We ride along. Our DSMs are with them almost every single day, and we get the feedback. And some are awesome that they will embrace new technology. Some are like, it's almost like when you're a kid, you're like, this is the way my dad taught me how to do things, and I'm not changing. It's okay.
We've
But
never heard
there's-
that in our
Yeah, right.
industry.
right.
But there's
I don't need an algicide. Oh.
that's why we call it good, better, best.
Yeah.
It still does the job. But
The other thing that I'm thinking is then there's an education that also has to happen at distribution because, and that's even a little bit more difficult. Like, how do you train those people to know if somebody comes up and goes, hey, I need an algicide. Oh, what specifically are you looking for?
Yeah.
Versus just the, oh, yep, here you go.
Yeah.
Our DSMs or DDMs spend a lot of time training the counter people at distributors and spending a lot of time in there talking about our specific products and the features and the benefits and what sets them apart and why they're different. So that when someone does say, I need an algicide, let me tell you about Algae Max or whatever the they're looking for. If they're selling Pro Series, we have the dual action, whatever that is. But yeah,
And
we spend a lot of
in
time
their
doing
defense, they have like, I don't know how many SKUs across all
Yeah,
things.
that's
This pump has this feature.
That's
gotta
exactly
figure out how to
that's
stand
exactly
out.
why I'm saying
You
it.
have to- how to stand
That's
out, yeah.
another hurdle that you need to think of when you're kind of launching a product. And then not only that, you've got 1,000 pool stores. Like there's only so much manpower that you can have to go to each one of those. It's not like you could go, okay, we got everybody in one room. We did one training, it's done. It's like your staff is having that grassroots out to every branch, to every...
And this is why we believe in having our own sales team. So we do have some rep groups that we do work with that are amazing, but we have a dedicated group of almost 100 salespeople that are dedicated to selling our products, period. And yes, in every level. So like I said, some people are doing the ride-along. Some people are working with retail partners. Some people are working with our distribution partners. It's a lot of education. So when we talk about, you hear these things about, Alicia's our education person. No, she trains almost 100 other of our people that are mini Alicias out there. So she's the face of it, for sure. But she does a tremendous job. And then training all of those people that you just said. There's even a bigger step because distribution is the lifeblood of chemical companies because they do a lot of business over the counter. And you have to convince the distributor why this is a product that they should bring in. They're selling the distributor, it's selling the individual distribution branch.
But then we need the branch to sell it too. You know?
So it takes a lot. There's no easy button to say.
Yeah, it's not like you just create a product and throw it on the shelf and we're done.
And that's our big advantage is we have this large team of people, and there's no other chemical company who has a team like this. They have one or two, or they'll have rep groups.
Is a lot.
It's a lot of people.
That's a big payroll.
Trust me, every time we do a sales meeting, I realize how many people it is, right, Ted?
But we find it's necessary and critical to elevate the industry and to continue to make us better. That's our investment.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey guys, let's do this. Let me by the way, I love this podcast. I've been so into it. I haven't done any shout outs, and I got people over here giving shout outs to Alicia, and I'm ignoring them out here. So let me come back and then we'll take a quick break. But OC Pool Solutions, Berry Bull Pools, big shout out to you. Diana Pasmino from Academy Pools. They're big fans.
How are you? Yeah.
MB Bull Plasters, MX, what's going on? Lopez Garcia, the Chlorinator, what's going on? Coastal Cactus, big shout out to you. Weber Tech Factor, what's going on? We'll see you up in Vegas. Yay, Ted and Alicia, BioGuard family. See, I gotcha. Mr. Skimmer, big shout out. Matt Jensen, Caribe Pools, Blue Power Pool, Joanne. Let me see here. Agape, big shout out to you. Some of these names I can't even say. AZ Pool Doctor, 99 Pretty Rain. What's going on? Danny Pools, big shout out to you. Copper State Landscape, big shout out to you. Naomi, big shout out to all you guys out there for listening in. And Ensenada is excited to be able to get out to Las Vegas. Jeanette says hi.
Hey, Jeanette, how are you?
She's always on here giving some shout outs out there. Spider, let's take a quick word from our sponsors. And when we come back, we will continue.
Say goodbye to slideshows and lectures and hello to hands-on learning at this year's Pool Nation Conference. Real tools.
Real techniques. Real experience.
Join us October 24th and 25th at the PSP Expo in Las Vegas, baby. For 2 days of interactive sessions for real-world application. From equipment demos to workflow walkthroughs, we'll go beyond the basics so you can see it, touch it, do it. Master best practices with live demonstrations and practice using the tools and tech that power today's pool industry. Whether you're new to the trade or leveling up your skills, this is your chance to learn by doing, not just listening. Become an expert in business too, from technician to owner. This is the year you create a business you love in the pool industry.
Hey guys, these aren't lectures. They're real tools that you can take home and start using right away. From what your metrics are really telling you about your business to building a team that makes your life easier and your business more profitable. Register now for the Pool Nation Conference at the PSP Expo in Las Vegas. Visit poolspapatio.com or poolnation.com.
Head to poolnation.com to register now. We'll see you in Las Vegas, Pool Pro. Pool pros have specific needs when it comes to general liability insurance. The SPPA program has you covered. With 3 tailored and customizable general liability options, SPPA makes it easy for pool pros to feel secure. Find out more and get covered at thesppa.com. U.S. Motors Neptune Variable Speed Motor provides a versatile replacement solution for all your pool pump motor needs. This motor can communicate with pool control systems, provide low voltage options to work with time clocks, and can be installed as a standalone pump motor. The Neptune motor can be easily installed on existing pumps, upgrading them to a variable speed pump without the need for replumbing. Enjoy energy savings and quiet operation by installing a Neptune Variable Speed Motor today. For more information and to find your local distributor, visit usmotors.com/pool. Blu-ray XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, Blu-ray XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. Blu-ray XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BluRayXL.com.
Blu-ray all day.
Aquastar's new pipeline cartridge filters, available in 2 sizes, deliver top-notch hydraulic efficiency along with best-in-class filtration performance, approaching that of DE filters. Uniquely designed, open pleat spacing means 100% of the media square footage is usable. And these claims are backed by NSF test results. Designed with the pro's time and comfort in mind, the patented double locking system improves safety and ease of access, making filter cleaners faster than ever before. Available now. Ask your supplier for pipeline filters today.
Natural Chemistry, a leader in specialty water care solutions for over 30 years, is proud to provide products that make pool service easier than ever before. Its unique enzyme formulations in Pro Series Pro Blend improve efficiency of your pool program while reducing frequency of filter cleaning and scum lines. Natural Chemistry is also well known for its wide variety of phosphate removal solutions that include a non-clouding formula in Phos-Free and extremely high-range removal with Pro Series Phos Remove or Phos Free Max. Save time, save money, save work with Pro Series products. Stop sacrificing durability or efficiency with the help of Raypak's new Avia HD models that utilize NITEC, their exclusive industry-first technology. NITEC heat exchanger technology is Raypak's latest solution to superior strength and maximum efficiency when it comes to residential pool heating. With 900% more nickel compared to copper nickel in critical surfaces, NITEC creates an ideal surface to protect against scale formation and erosion without compromising on Avia's 84% thermal efficiency. Learn more at raypak.com/NITEC. The next evolution in lighting is here. Universal Color Logic 2.0 from Hayward. The latest in pool and spa lighting was designed with you in mind, making installation a breeze. Upgrades include a detachable cord and first-of-a-kind adjustable lower catch to overcome variations in plaster thickness. As always, Universal Color Logic lights retrofit into virtually any in-ground pool or spa while delivering industry-leading, vibrant color. Visit Hayward.com to discover more.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Pool Nation Live podcast. Sorry about that. We talked for about an hour and a half, but that was just...
I did say I love to talk.
Yeah.
We could talk shop all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about, I think you referred to it when we were talking about it. Was it safe gate or gate safe?
Stage gate.
Stage gate.
Yeah.
So
stage
what
gate.
is the stage gate?
It's like checks and balances. As a product grows or goes through the process, Ted was talking about it at the end of the line, but
Starts at the beginning.
It starts at the beginning. So as a product is going through all of these steps that we've been talking about, stages, at multiple points along the way. How many is stage gate once a month?
Yeah, we have monthly meetings. Yeah.
So it's once a month, and the project gets reviewed at different stages. So it gets reviewed at every stage gate meeting so that you check in on it. Where is it in the idea stage, the formulation stage? So you're checking in on it at different stages, and at each time you're evaluating where are we at. Is it still viable? Is it still feasible? Do we still want to continue to put resources, time, energy, whatever, towards it? And then, so at each stage gate, you have to basically approve it to keep moving forward. So you're constantly reevaluating. We're still good with this. And so nothing ever just keeps going just because it was put in the hopper to go. You keep looking at it going, hey, are we still wanting to do this? And there's times when it's like, yeah, you know what? We have so many other things that are more important right now. Let's put a pin in this one and take it out of rotation for the moment. Maybe we'll come back to it. Maybe we'll get back to the place where we can work on it again. So you're just reevaluating all the time to what are we working on, prioritizing what needs to be the most important part or what comes to the top of the priority list, and then you move forward, and then the next month you're evaluating all over again. So you're constantly have the opportunity to say, yes, we're in the right order, we're in the right spot, or no, we need to make some changes. So,
and that goes on for the entire process.
For the entire
So it could
process.
be years of these monthly meetings.
You might have a stage gate discussion about a product 35 times before it ever launches.
Maybe depending on the complexity, but as Alicia said, each stage lets people in the organization know when they're getting involved. So at a certain stage, I mentioned packaging engineer will get involved to say, okay, we're at this stage. Now I got to do my testing, and then they'll hand it off to whatever. And then at some point that will need to go to our regulatory team to say, now I need to file all the paperwork with the individual states and the federal government. Then at another stage, it'll cue all of our production planners to now buy the raw material or the packaging or the labels, the interpack cases, all that stuff. And then the final stage is manufacturing is ready to go and the sales team's ready to sell it.
But at any point, you can stop the process.
You can stop the process.
But none of those things can happen until the formulation is signed off on and everybody agrees this is the final formulation that we're going to move forward with. Right?
Yeah. And then sometimes in each stage, you need to ask the organization for money for something. So maybe it's like, we're uncertain on this piece. We'd like to get a consumer insight done on whether they want the handle on the left side or the right side, or they want a picture of a butterfly on the thing or whatever.
We need more human hair.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It could be anything. So the owner of each stage will talk to where it is in the stage and what they need or what they need assistance, or just say, hey, we're ready to go to the next stage. Here's everything that's completed. There is a checklist. It's like NASA Control Center, because at each stage there is a laundry list of things that need to happen. It has to be completed before it goes to the next stage.
And how does it work? So you've got a product, right, that you guys want to develop. So business hat on, right? I'm looking at it going, we can't just do 100 of these and spend $5 million doing all these and then we only get one. From a business standpoint, that doesn't make sense. So how does it work from how many do you do per year, and do you guys just allocate to each one of them a budget? And let's say that you go through those gates and you're like, wait a second, now this is starting to get out of control. Let's revisit that. Yeah.
So part of the monthly meeting is maintenance as well, to say, is this a good idea? Are we good here? Or is it not going? Is something fizzling away? Do we learn more information about the set of products that we're working on that causes us to say we're not going to do it and we're going to put it on the shelf? So that's part of it. Sometimes we punt to another year. So it's like, we're going to add this. We're going to take this off the stages for 25 and we're going to punt it to 26. And we'll talk about that in Q1 26. We have dozens of products that are in each stage in each year that we're managing through, but we have research and development funds that are assigned. A gentleman by the name of David Rouse, who's been with our company for 26 years, heads it up. We're one of the few companies who assigns a research and development budget. Others just are repacking.
They're repacking, bringing from other countries.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. We pride ourselves at being more than 90% manufactured here in the United States. We source mainly United States product. All of our packaging and things, if they're not made,
done there.
If they're not made in our plants, they're made at our partners here in the United States. But yes, we have this big research and development fund, and that's what funds the stage. So the stage gate.
It's crazy to think too, like you were talking about earlier, like what we're dealing with today were concepts and ideas from years ago. And society today, everything's just moving so rapidly.
Yeah.
And thinking that far ahead, and then in the process, if there's something that changes or a new development, and then it's not viable at that point, that's a lot of planning. And
yes,
that's a long 5 years or whatever, 3 years. That's a long window these days.
Yeah, it's fun when you talk to like our dealers and like, why can't you just do it this way?
It doesn't work that way. Yeah.
We'd love to, but there's 100 things, including government agencies, that need to be involved in this process.
Yeah.
And we're working on a new tablet technology it's done, it's ready. Due to the government shutdown right now, EPA is going nowhere. So this will cause a further delay.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
So as an example,
It will impact our launch.
so now at stage gate this month, they'll be like, where we are on the EPA registration for X.
They're
We
shut
didn't hear
down.
back from EPA. That
Yeah.
means another more month delay. Yeah, so sometimes there's outside influence that changes things. We talk about could be supply chain shortages or whatever else, that those could cause an issue. And if we do source or we don't manufacture a product, sometimes there could be supply disruption at a third party that could cause a issue or whatever else. So
We had a back order at one point because the people that made the paper for the labels went on strike.
went on strike. That's right.
Yeah, things you don't think about.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
the paper for the labels, and that's what we couldn't get, and we were scrambling to redo that. It's just the littlest things. They're like, why don't you have such and such a product? And so we can't get the paper for the labels right now. Yeah.
And that's not something that you can just walk into a printing shop and be like, hey, Zach, print me
No.
these.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
It
not that
sounds so easy.
It does, but
It
it's
does.
not.
Especially not when you're putting it on a chlorine bucket
And you
or
got to make
something.
sure
You
that it
gotta-
doesn't
it's not gonna
ruin
fade
the paper
out.
and
Yeah,
that, you know.
exactly.
If you put one or two labels on a product, great, but you're talking tens of thousands a day.
They have to run
A
off
day.
a roller. and-
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's a little different, the scale, but
That just made me think of, you remember the old Taylor test kits, and they used to have the paper booklets in them? And what
Yeah.
used to happen within the first 3 test
Faded
kits, it
out.
was like,
Yep.
it was gone,
Yeah.
right? And then it was like, then they finally did the vinyl paper. It was like,
yeah.
in the process, sometimes you just don't think about that. You're just
No.
like, well,
Yeah.
here's the
No.
booklet, put that in there, and you're good. And then out in real world scenario, it's like, now it's ruined. I can't use it. So now, obviously, we're moving into a new world with all this AI technology that we're going into, and you guys have a state-of-the-art facility. Does that play any impact in anything that you're doing? And we'll talk about how you're using it, which I think is very smart. But with regards to your guys' production plants or anything?
Yeah, you want a manufacturing plant that's as isolated and as dumb as possible. And that's for all the right reasons. Each one of our facilities are not tied into the outside world for a reason. That these are chemical plants, and you don't need terrorism or whatever else. Like this is
There's
a
another-
I didn't even think about that. He's saying that. I'm like, crap, I didn't think about that.
cybersecurity in our company is top notch, and it has to be for a reason, because you don't want something to go awry, because the lines are all computer controlled and everything else and whatever. They're isolated cutoff systems. So we don't use a lot of that technology in the plants. You want them as dumb and basic as possible. Now, engineering and those things, yes, you want a lot of technology there. When we talk about AI specifically, I would say AI is getting us more organized. And it's speeding up the process, the go-to-market process, because it's allowing us to be more efficient. But I'll give you an example how we're utilizing AI quickly. So we make our SKU portfolio is tens of thousands of products. If we have to make a change on a label for something, so I'll give you an example of a label change, and some of these are so small. State of California, a lot of stuff comes out of there. There was a mandate that says you need to put instructions on the back of the label that shows how you're actually going to discharge wastewater from a pool that has chlorine in it to the sewer system. You have to have a blurb in the back of that. So for us to make
into every product, or
it's specifically on formulation that has anything that has copper additives in it.
Oh, okay.
So you look at our portfolio of products, and there's, we'll call it 100 that may have this thing. Now you're paying somebody to go into each label, updating this label. Then, since it's copper, it's a regulated adjuvant product, which means it needs to be submitted to the EPA for approval, and then comes back with an approval, and then you can tell manufacturing to go ahead and order the labels and start making it. AI is now doing a lot of that for us. So it's going in, updating the label, doing the submission process, coming back. So it's making it efficient with checks and balances along the way.
Right.
Clearly.
But yeah,
Nothing just submits automatically. You talk about that piece. AI is helping us on really simple, mundane tasks when you talk about transportation. So we make thousands and thousands of shipments a day. And the pro number from the shipment has to get into the system somehow. So one piece is EDI, we find it's electronically inputted. But then how can we communicate that pro number to our customers? So we're now in the process of putting a chatbot in that will take that information, throw it through a CRM system and blow it out to the customer. I mean, we take these things for granted. When you order from Amazon that says the label's been printed, or you just dropped your package off at your house. I mean, that is a AI thing working in the background who's gathering all this data and information and pushing it out to you. For us, it's going to allow us to be a lot more efficient there. So
I freaking love it.
And that's even on top of Alicia's exciting stuff.
And I want to talk about that stuff too. Alicia, let's talk a little bit about what you're doing, which I was able to be part of it, which was fun.
Yeah, so AI in education, it's everywhere right now. And we have really, in the last, I don't know, we've been working on it for a year or so at this point.
Yeah, over a year.
We've been investing a lot in education recently. We've really done a lot of work to upgrade our platforms, and we're in the midst of probably the big upgrade to education for all of our brands all at one time, which I thought was a good idea for some reason.
Well, it's very easy because it's Alicia. So you're like, Alicia could do it. Like, Edgar, never. Alicia, she could do it.
Hey, Ted, if you'll just give me this, I'm going to do all 3 brands at once. Anyway, so what we're doing is, we've invested in a new learning management platform, which was much needed. That not AI based necessarily, but just a much needed new platform to house everything. Let us do some really cool things with certification and badging and reporting and things that we really needed to upgrade on our end to make it a better experience for our customers and our users. So I'm excited to get that off the ground. We're still in the architecture part of that. And if I survive it, it's going to be great. If I don't, it was really nice knowing all of you. But for the content development part, so right before COVID, we had invested a lot of time and energy in our online education, and we thought we were doing it great. Shot a bunch of green screen video, and we're like, look at us, like we've got all this video content, and it's wonderful, and spent a ton of money on it, and it was wonderful for about 13 seconds, and then we changed a product, or we changed a dosage, or we changed a name of something or whatever, and then you're just immediately out of date, and then you're just out of date. And when you do something on a green screen, the only way you can update is to reshoot on a green screen, and it was awful. So we were immediately just behind, and to keep things up to date was impossible. So now, even to this day, right at this moment, we have a lot of really good content that is not up to date and relevant at this point. So we were working through some options on how do we keep the human element to our training, which we really want to do, but in a way that is easily updatable, we have complete control over. We eliminate that need to set up a green screen video shoot. We make it so where it's click button changes, that sort of stuff, to make it manageable, because managing content is probably my biggest challenge as an educator. Is delivering content's easy for me. I do that every day. It's just managing it and keeping it updated that's the challenge. So we have invested in an AI system that we are doing all of our training, our online training, with avatars now, and it's amazing. So I have an avatar of me. You helped me with it. If you guys weren't here, with Edgar and I were in the studio, and we did a video. It's a really funny video shoot because
it's awkward as all get out.
It is. Like, you're going to do one, Ted.
Oh,
yeah, so
it's
reading
awkward.
the script and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's like.
Yeah.
Read this with excitement. Read this with sadness.
Read it with anger.
Read this. Yeah. So be uplifting.
Because you're like training your avatar.
Don't move your hands.
Yeah.
Your hands in your pocket.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking at Alicia, and Alicia loves to do this a lot. And I'm like,
yeah, don't. And then it was like, make sure your glasses don't have a glare on them. That was the hardest part of the whole day.
Yeah. And then take one with glasses and one without glasses.
Yeah, like stand on your left foot, stand on your... No, anyway, we created the avatar, and it's really cool technology. So now I have this avatar of me that really does look like me. It clones my voice, a little too high pitched. We're still working on training it to sound a little more like me, unless I'm more high pitched than I think I am, which maybe that's just...
You always sound different to yourself.
That's true. Yeah. So all of our training moving forward is going to be avatar-based, AI-based training. So now I can take the existing training that we have, download the scripting, update it all to where it needs to be, load it into this AI-based software. The avatar can, whether it's me, Ted's going to do one, we have some other people we're going to do the professional avatars for, and then we're delivering personal training. It is me. You can definitely tell it's an avatar, but it does look and sound like me. Like, it really does.
I think also for your base, it works really well, because the trainings that you have to go do in person at shows and stuff like that, you're going to be able to do. But you guys, with such a big BioGuard dealership, Like, this is perfect.
It's a lot of hours. It's for BioGuard, we have 82 modules. So that's a lot of,
Damn.
that's a lot of modules, you know. We're able to do it. And if we change a product name, we need to swap out a graphic, we need to change something, we just pull the script, change it, swap out the graphic, republish, and the avatar makes the change, and it's immediately updated. And it's just that simple. And the best part about it is we struggle with language because I don't speak French, I don't speak Spanish, and this is click button translation. So if you say, hey, we have French speakers up for our Canadian division, and they've been woefully underserved by our training for a long time, and now we're able to take created training, click a button, it translates what we've typed into the system for graphics. Unless it's an image, if we've typed it in for bullets or anything like that, it translates that automatically for us. It translates me. So where I'm speaking fluent French, it moves my lips appropriately so it looks like I'm speaking fluent French, and it literally is a click of a button. I could do it in Spanish, I can do it in Portuguese, I can do it. There's
so many different
dozens
Russian, all
of
kinds
languages.
Yeah, I can't wait till a French speaker comes up to her at the show.
At the show, right?
And she's like, I don't speak.
No,
And she's like,
yeah, the only French I speak are 4-letter words I get in trouble for. So, yeah, it's such a cool. It was a cool investment, and then as we've played with it, it's just gotten cool. It's just gotten
Talk about
better
being on the
better.
forefront of that, though. That's wild.
Yeah, so it's a little quirky. It's not quite the same as, I'm standing there delivering the training, but it's really neat, and it's working for us.
Well,
It's
and I
working
think-
really well,
I think for you it might look a little quirky, but somebody that doesn't know who you are, that's brand new to a BioGuard dealer and stuff like that, they're not going to know the difference.
Right.
You know,
You could look at it and say something's a little off. And you could probably just ascertain that it's something in the Wi-Fi. Like it's a little,
But it's pretty spot on.
It is.
Isn't it?
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And in 6 months and then 12 months, it's moving so fast that.
Yes.
I tried the one after you did it. I signed up and I tried and I did the paid, but I'd have to do the same thing and train it. I was like, remember?
You were sending a bunch of those.
I was sending them to these guys. This guy, like, no.
The professional, so I did the free one. We've all done the free one.
Yep.
It's okay. But the professional one that we did, because I was the test case to see if it was worth it.
Yeah.
Definitely worth it. But it was.
And the other thing that you don't think about is the investment that you have to do there. Not just from your time, but these platforms and stuff like that, they're not cheap. AI platforms are not cheap. They'll give you whatever that plan is and you only get to do 30 hours. So it's not like it's 30 unlimited. You're going to have to get into an enterprise level.
I will say from a technology standpoint, Ted is a huge fan. He's a big proponent of education, and we've been more than willing as a company to invest this year, especially into really bettering our education from a technology standpoint and really putting the resources into getting us to the point where we are modernizing, we are getting to the point where we need to be, and that we can manage our content, we can provide the background that we need for our customers to be able to run reporting and really manage their own people. And like, we've put a lot of resources into education this year, especially to really get us up to speed. We're launching some really cool things on our BioGuard side of things. We're launching BioGuard University this year, which is new for us. That's exciting. So stay tuned for more on that. But yeah, we've got a lot of really cool things going, and a lot of it is technology based this year.
That's awesome. Hey guys, believe it or not, we're out of time. We won't take our final word from our sponsors because we're out of time. But let me get your final thoughts, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, I love these conversations, and I'm weird and like very, I think through the process and everything involved, and a lot of people that are around me are like, dude, chill out. Like my dad especially is like, dude, chill out. You think about this stuff too much. But this is what I love, because there are just so many elements to this that we covered today that you just don't even think of, like the terrorism thing. That's a big thing.
It's a
in
huge
itself.
thing, yeah.
And like, okay, we have to have these systems that are offline and they're not connected, so that it is absolutely wild all the way down to the packaging, and can the packaging handle the product? And I think it's really cool. I kind of geek out on this stuff, and I love the education. You know, that's what we're all about. That's our passion. I love what you guys are doing with that. And like, I hope to see a world, just for my selfish gain, where we can have a hologram in our conference room. And like, we're learning from Alicia today.
We have one of those, actually.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
Like real time, Alicia here in class teaching. And to be honest, we're probably only a few years away from that. So
I think you're a lot shorter coming to that. There's some stuff that's going to be coming out at the end of 2026 that for the pool industry that is going to be completely crazy. So
I'm here for it. I can't wait.
Yeah, there's some people that are working on some stuff that I know I can't talk about it. They made me sign an NDA because they're developing some stuff, but there's some stuff that's going to be coming out that's going to be legit. It's really going to change. And what we love about it is obviously we're huge proponents of education, right? And we want our mission to completely be really focused to the pool pros that have been underserved for so long.
Yep.
And what's getting us excited is to see other companies, to see other people going, now we need to do that. And you're starting to see other academies and other universities and focusing towards the pool pro. And those are the people that we need to focus on because they're really the backbone, of our
100%.
industry. They're the ones that drive 70% of the market, right? When you were talking about the education and stuff like that, I'm like, just beautiful. That's what we want, right? We want people out there that are going to be educated. They're going to know about products, that are going to know how to do their job and just help us continue to elevate the industry.
Yeah. It's the whole rising tides concept, right? Let's elevate everybody and we're all going to grow. I mean,
we'll all be better together.
You talk about competition. Like we never talk about competition in our building. It's like, how can we grow the industry? Yeah. How can we grow the category? Not like, how can we go pick off this person? That's not in our.
Yeah. Yeah. And for us, it's the same thing. It's if we can do something that's going to create one of our competitors to up their game, we're like, thank you. That's what we need because they better, we better, they better.
Everybody just drives
and
it.
The only one that's going to win is the person that we're trying to serve, which is the pool pro, all the way at the bottom. So I do want to thank you guys for coming out. Ted, I know that you are super busy, so I appreciate you making one of your stops here.
But you would never know.
Yeah.
Just so lax.
That's it.
Yeah.
But listen, seriously, we would love to have you in our office. We've done a really poor job over the years of exposing people to what we do behind the curtain. We really have a concerted effort the last year here about bringing people in and just
let's go.
Like
we'll do the podcast there. Come on.
I would love to do that.
Here's what we're going to do. So obviously, especially now, so we partnered, I'm sure you heard about it, but we partnered with the SPPA and Pool Nation, and we're bringing all of our members together. Yeah. We've got a big, huge matrix influx. I want to get together, and we can figure out the numbers, but I'd like to get at least like 25 people. Maybe we could do one of our matrix classes out there, right? Maybe
we can,
and it's not just about us teaching something, but when we've done the matrix classes, we've had Josh Sandler come in and teach from gold medals, and that's what we want to do.
Great.
I think.
And Benny will be able to be there.
Right? But I think what we could do is make one of our matrix, and last time we had 40 of them come out. But,
great.
But we could figure out a number, and then what we'll do is we'll do one of the matrix classes there, the people that can come out, and then maybe we can do a podcast and do a plant tour and all that. That'd be cool.
One of the things that people always love is fine, we do the tour and whatever else, but we also have an interaction piece where we show you the application of the products. Here's the legacy product you're probably using. Here's the new one, and actually how it works. And you can see, feel, and sometimes smell the difference between all the application of the different products.
We won't make you touch any human hair.
No human hair?
Unless you want to.
Now I want to touch the slimy one to see what that's like.
You can touch the algae, though.
We grow algae.
We grow algae in our
One
labs.
of our executives' daughter walked through one day and she goes, "Daddy, you make potions."
So, but that'll be cool. We have a matrix class tomorrow on the financials, so we'll talk to the matrix group tomorrow on the thing, and then I'll touch base. And but let's set something up for 2026. So Zach, sorry. We're adding another one to it.
You got to apologize to Leslie. That's who you got to apologize to.
Ours is easy. We'll host it. It's really good. We'll be a partner.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'll be a great time. So we'll have to set something up for the schedule for next year. Okay. Anyways, final thoughts, Alicia. You're good at this. Let's go.
First of all, thanks for having us out. We always enjoy being here. I got time with Ted, which I haven't had in a minute, so it was nice for me. We got a chance to catch up, so that was nice. But always enjoy being here and so excited about things to come. Excited for working on some things with you, and just I'm really excited for what 2026 is going to bring for all of us. So I do hope you come out, and we'd be happy to host a Matrix class. And like I said, we love to show off our toys, so come on out and we'll give you a tour and give you a peek behind the curtain. And we're proud to show off BioLab.
Absolutely.
It's a place I'm definitely proud to work. Come on out and we'll show you around. But stay tuned. We've got cool things coming, and we've got some exciting things in the works. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Hope you have a great weekend. Come and join me and John on the Instagram Live on Wednesday. Are you going to join us on Wednesday? Because we're getting close to the awards.
Just give me the invite.
Just give me the invite. You're there. There you go. Zach's going to be with us on the Instagram Live as well. Hope everybody has a great weekend. We'll catch you on the other side. Bye, guys.
See ya.
Thanks.
Thanks for listening to the Pool Nation podcast, a member of the Pool Nation family. You can listen to us live every Friday here at 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, and 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. You can find us at Pool Nation or poolnationpodcast.com, on Facebook, or on Instagram at pool.nation. And to find more info about Pool Invoice, the billing software built specifically for the pool industry, go to poolinvoice.com. Before you go, this is what the pool industry has been waiting for. PoolmanUniversity.com. It's the first platform dedicated to learning the swimming pool service and repair industry. A pool service community where you can connect and find videos on business, service, water chemistry, and repairs. See you there at PoolmanUniversity.com.